Hello, everyone. My name is Iveoma. Welcome to Iveoma Media, the platform that helps Nigerian diaspora invest in Nigeria. Today, I'm chatting with Isaac. Isaac is an angel investor who is investing heavily in Nigerian businesses. All of this is coming up. Please make sure to like, comment below. Those are amazing ways to support this channel. Thank you. So, Isaac, what was the very first thing that made you interested in investing in Nigeria?
Hi, everyone, and thanks for having me. Good to meet you all. The first thing that attracted me to invest in Nigeria was me sitting at a tech conference, right, in Lagos, the Disrupt Lagos at Landmark Event Center, and seeing phenomenal talent pitching amazing solutions to everyday problem, and frankly saying like, well, this is like an easy opportunity for me to contribute to solutions while not necessarily being in Nigeria, but also a unique way for me to add my skill sets to help mentor some of these innovators and builders on the continent. So it was like a win-win for me and potentially the ecosystem.
So you saw a pitch competition. Was the Landmark event a pitch competition?
Yeah, so it was Disrupt Lagos. It was a huge tech conference, and at the end of it, they had a pitch competition that had multiple startups pitch to the audience.
You went to this event, and then from that point on, you became very interested in investing in Nigerian businesses. What is your background in?
Yeah, good question. For the past 12 years, I've worked in the finance group at Goldman Sachs, a global investment bank.
Okay, so you have a lot of investments in the US, I'm presuming.
I have some in the US, but most of our investments, which obviously manage on behalf of my wife and I, are primarily in Nigeria.
So that is what I want to talk about, right? Because a lot of people think that so many people have contacted me and said, oh, well, the majority of my investments are in the US. I don't see a point, a reason to invest in Nigerian businesses. So what would you say to them? Somebody, by the way, who works at Goldman Sachs in finance, okay? Who has the majority of investments in Nigeria. What would you say to that person?
Yeah, so there are two things where you think of investing, right? It's your risk appetite and also why you're investing. Now, for me, primarily, I'd say the reason why most of my investments are in Nigeria right now, and most of my investments are in tech startups right now, is because the opportunity could not be more compelling, right? And the opportunity to actually do good and at the same time make a shit ton of money. And that realization came in 2019 for me. Now, obviously, in 2019, summer of 2019, I only did one check. That was my first angel check. Spent a lot of time after then, like really understanding the ecosystem, getting connected to key stakeholders, learning and how to go about it, and went full run in 2021. So did first angel check in 2019, did 3 in 2020, and in 2021 did 25.
So how many investments do you have in Nigeria right now?
In Nigeria right now, 27.
So you started in 2019 and now it's February 2022 and you already have 27 investments.
Correct.
Wow, that's amazing. So how are you using your investments to plan for your retirement? So I think you told me you wanted to retire by 45.
Yes, I do. I tend to tell people, and primarily it's to help me be accountable. I tell my friends, even from back when I was in the University of Lagos, the goal was never to work a full-time job for like too long. I'm a strong believer in
my goal too.
If you work exactly, so a strong believer in being financially independent and prudent, right? Like and to work hard, you build enough wealth, right, to be able to live comfortably and travel the world or just relax and enjoy, right, like the fruits of my labor. And for me, I think 45 is that sweet spot. Actually, when I was about to start my career in Nigeria, the target was like 40, and I had a path to get there in Nigeria, but obviously, switched paths in did a grad school in US in different circumstances. But now in the US, the plan is 45, and I see a path to get there and being like the top 5% of income per US standard, primarily by investing in Africa broadly, but starting out with Nigeria and been fortunate so far.
How much money have you invested in Nigeria?
Cumulatively, about $250,000.
$250,000, and now you're about to invest. You said this 2022 is going to be a heavy year for you.
2022 is actually going to be slower for us in going forward because we've done like a lot of investments. But going forward, the plan is to do one per month and probably keep it to between 50 and 100,000 yearly.
Okay, that makes sense. What did you first have to learn in order to invest? Because you said in 2019, you just invested in one company. And then 2020, you invested in 3 companies. And then 2021 is when you did the bulk of your investments. So what did you first have to learn in order to invest in your first company?
I don't actually think I learned one thing first. I learned multiple things at the same time.
Okay.
One of it was just familiarity with like what venture was, right? And there's a phenomenal online program at INSEAD Business School that talked about like venture capital and angel investing in general. There's the Venture Capital Association of Africa, which does a phenomenal angel investing series. A ton of online learnings and events through various angel networks, both in the US, in Europe, as well as in Africa. And basically stalking a lot of people online, right? The writers that post stuff on LinkedIn, from TechPoint, TechCrunch, TechCabal. So immersing myself, if you will, in the ecosystem to ensure that like once I started doing this, like fully, like I'm doing it for the right reason, and I'm doing it armed with all the knowledge that at least I had access to.
No, I think that's wonderful. What is some knowledge that you think that first-time investors should know about? Yeah,
I think the one that everyone needs to be flagged to is the fact that like over 70% of tech startups like will just fail. And so once you hear that, you're like, whoa, like this is like a very high chance that you'd lose money. And the second is, even though that happens, that yes, the one that people like to throw around is that, well, anyone tech startup that makes it, quote unquote, would give you 10, 20, 30x, right, of your invested capital, which is true. And so what people need to remember is, you need to diversify, right? Like obviously, because you will have a lot of losers. Fingers crossed, I've not had many in my portfolio, but it's expected that it would happen. And so I keep my discipline. My investing check size is 5 to 10, $5,000 to $10,000. But there are instances where too excited about something, and I want to like splurge and say, okay, like we'll go up to 20, right? And then I have to like convince my chief accountability officer, which is my wife, and a couple of friends sometimes, that well, this is really worth it, and this is like why I'm super excited. And that I am going to like be personally invested and involved in like making sure they prosper, right? So like if it means like me dragging, pushing, like forcing them to succeed, like I would do what it takes to like get that business right to that level, right? So the largest single investment for a business in Nigeria that I did was $33,000.
Wow, $33,000. They really sold you, right? You really believed in that company.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
I think the cool thing about talking to like investors and talking to like Nigerian startup founders is I didn't realize that angel investors like you and your wife, I didn't realize that not only do they cut a check, but they also spend significant time doing other things with the founder. I didn't realize about the relationship. So with a lot of the companies that you've invested heavily in, you have a relationship with the founders, right?
Yeah, correct. And I think that's inevitable, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's various ways to angel invest, right? Like you could join an angel network and just write checks, and the network handles everything. You could buy via Get Equity, which are the startups that I'm invested in, and you buy as little as $10, right? And in my case, right, if you're going directly on cap table, so if I'm writing a check for $10,000, for instance, or 15 or 20, like I want to talk to the founder. I want to get a sense of their conviction, right? Like I want to like believe in their dreams. I want to be able to pitch their dream. I want to be able to sell their product, right? Like for them. And so that requires a level of interaction, because again, like you're buying into someone's dreams and vision. You need to be sold on it as good as an employee of that firm, and then like go to town for them, right? Like go pound the table and like make magic work for them.
So Isaac, why do you think it's important to invest in these startup companies? Like, why are you so not only just emotionally or financially invested in them, but like what do you see in the space?
Well, yeah, two things, right? Like, so, and people throw around the word leapfrogging, right? Like, literally, we saw Nigeria and the African continent leapfrog.
Yeah, we are.
Will mobile technology, right? With the advent of GSM.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is not just like one sector now, right? Like in the age of technology disruption that we're in, right? Like there's literally an opportunity to disrupt like the whole thing, right? Like using technology from media. I mean, obviously we're having this conversation now through a technology platform. So imagine if Zoom, was a Zoom equivalent was built by a Nigerian, right? Like, and we could use that, right? Yeah. And by the way, that does exist, right? But most people don't know about.
What is the name?
It's called Obi Meet. It's Open Binary Meet, and I can send you details later.
Yeah.
So for me, it's to ensure that like whatever global technology platforms are available or disruptions are anywhere in the world, right? Like, well, who's doing similar on the African continent, and how do we amplify what they're doing and ensure that they get their own day, right? Like in the world, right? In terms of like their own audience, right? Their own at least opportunity to be tried out or heard out, right? And so for me, that's why it's critical. And at the same time, knowing that would also generate a whole lot of prosperity, right? Like, so we can be included in that growth and prosperity versus just being takers of like Google, Apple, Zoom, like Facebook, Instagram, like the rest of it.
I think the cool thing about Isaac, everyone, is that Isaac actually lives in the US and he comes to Nigeria once a year for a couple of days, not even that long, to check in with the founders. So a lot of people feel like when they invest in companies in Nigeria, they have to come very frequently. Isaac, why do you feel comfortable coming once a year?
Yeah, I mean, like in reality, I actually don't need to come around at all. But obviously, I have like family and friends as well in Nigeria that it's always good to get to connect with. But now, because of the nature of these businesses, because of the tech-oriented nature, you don't actually need to be there physically, right? To like actually like use these products and services or like test it out or get validation for like the existence, if you will, or the going concern of the business. And so I feel comfortable like, remotely investing in such ventures, and coming once a year to actually like touch base with the founders, ensuring that their conviction is still there, their dedication and stuff is still there, and like chatting live to see like what else I can do to help them.
Okay, so I think that is the benefit of the investments that you're making, because primarily all of your investments are in tech. And are you looking at investing in any other sectors?
No, I mean, so even with the tech, it's across sectors. It's just, it has to be like tech-enabled ventures. And again, the reason is because of my familiarity with that space and comfort level, like doing that remotely. If I was doing real estate, direct real estate investing, or like agricultural stuff investing, I would want to like be close enough to see the farm or see the building and have someone check on it regularly to make sure like the building is still there, like it's still mine and stuff. So.
That makes perfect sense. So what would you say to someone who is interested in angel investing, but they don't really know where to start?
I'll do a shameless plug for my Clubhouse room, Angel Investing Africa. But I mean, like more seriously, just start learning. Again, there's like different trends at different times. The more popular ones now, of course, is everything crypto, NFT, and Web3. But people can get carried away in like the noise. What I say is angel investing is real. Do some learning. Like take some time to like review at least whatever area you're in, geographically as well as like professionally, and figure out like what opportunities there are to invest in some of the future innovative companies within that country or region or profession or industry that you're in.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Is there anything you would like to say?
I think one thing we didn't touch on fully, and more speaking to the diaspora constituents, folks like me, I'd say, look, if you've always looked for an opportunity to give back or contribute to the development and growth of the country, and like me, felt in some way, like a sense of like betrayal for leaving the country, well, this is like your opportunity to actually give back, while at the same time, like benefiting from the growth.
Yeah, giving back and building a wonderful life for yourself. I think that's the best way to give back. So Isaac, thank you so much for speaking to me. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day. You guys, you may see Isaac again because Isaac is investing in so many different businesses, and maybe our next talk, we're going to be talking about like the specific businesses that he's looking at. And because Isaac is actually really cool in the way that he will promote companies, like all of these companies that he's investing in, he's definitely going to promote them and let me know which companies to look at. And I definitely appreciate that so much. So thank you so much for speaking to me, Isaac.
Oh, thank you for having me, and thanks to the audience for watching and liking. I think platforms like this are phenomenal, and we should do more literacy and more education in this space.
Bye now.